Congratulations, you have successfully reached right on Rub-a-Dub. I'm your host, Rob. Today is February 2nd, 2012. We got a lot of show to cover, so let's get right to it. And it goes a little something like this. Hit it! Story number 1! Starring my very favorite royal family, Mr. Wildcard, as I like to call him, Prince Harry, made a very important announcement talking about how his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, cannot do without her loving significant other, Prince Philip. To actually quote him, he says, "Regardless of whether my grandfather seems to be doing his own thing, sort of wandering off like a fish down the river, the fact that he's there, personally, I don't think that she could do it without him, especially when they're both at this age." Now, in case you don't already know, the Queen is celebrating her 60th year since the anniversary of her coronation is actually in June, and she undertakes the frequent public engagements at the very old and wrinkly age of 85 years old. Yes, and Prince Philip, he's no spring chicken. He's actually 90. Since she had no predecessor that went for 60 some odd years, she's been basically winging it, for lack of better terms, or as Harry put it, making her own blueprint, because she really had nothing to follow, which can be commended at her age. But really, Camilla Parker Bowles is probably drooling at the mouth with her and Prince Charles possibly getting the opportunity. In all due respect to you, Harry, he did make these comments before the Christmas holidays, and as you might remember, Prince Philip was actually hospitalized in December because he had to undergo an emergency heart surgery. So, I've grown to the conclusion that Prince Philip is on his final days. Maybe once he goes, Queen Elizabeth will slowly come around to the realization this isn't as much fun without Prince Philip. So, maybe within a year or two, we could possibly see the coronation of a new king. King Charles. King Charles. I bet he's been waiting all his life for that opportunity. Story number 2! In Ottawa, there is probably the hottest high school teacher I have ever seen in my life. Joanne Leger-Legault. She has done something very naughty and deserves to be punished. Let's not get started. But the point is, what did she do that was so naughty, you might ask? Well, that's a very good question. Seems like an Ottawa high school teacher has had her teaching license revoked after admitting she had an inappropriate relations with 3, not just 1, but 3 students. Joanne Leger-Legault pleaded absolutely no contest to the allegations of professional misconduct presented at the Ontario College of Teachers Discipline Committee, which was heard the case late last year. She admitted to having an intimate sexual relationship with 2 of her students and kissing the 3rd on the lips. The incidents that were investigated actually involved 4 boys, and they span from the years 2001, 2002, all the way to 2005-2006 school years. According to Ontario's College of Teachers, the member failed, and this member is obviously Joanne Leger-Legault, the member failed to maintain the standards of profession, committed an act that would regard by members as disgraceful, dishonorable, or unprofessional, and engaged in conduct unbecoming of a member. The Ontario Carleton District School Board employed Leger-Legault from 2001 all the way to June of last year, when she finished her teaching career at the end at Maryvale. Now, I never went to Maryvale High School, but believe me, I would have loved this to happen to me. Not only do you get to get a definite A, but not just that. While you're making that A+, you're also becoming the coolest guy on campus. Since it's a high school and it's not a campus, just basically the most awesome dude you could possibly become. And when you're this awesome dude, not only do you have the respect of your peers, but you're deflowered. You got that whole virgin thing out the window. And believe me, there's no better way to throw it out the window than doing it with a beautiful older woman. I don't care if she was 25 or, which the picture which we have of her, she's 29. But come on, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. She's gorgeous. What I'm thinking, and this is just my hypothesis, is that the one that she just kissed, and she obviously was found having a relationship with 2 others, I think the one that she just kissed probably got a little bit jealous. Probably said to himself, well, if I ain't getting none of that poon, I'm probably going to just ruin it for the rest of my friends. Obviously, he never heard of the saying, it ain't no fun unless my homies can get some. Women do this a hell of a lot more often than you might think. I'm like, wow, this freaking student practically won the lottery. Because it's not every day that a gorgeous 25 to 29-year-old woman wants a pubescent 14-year-old to have a little bit of extracurricular activity. Story number 3. I hate Ugg boots. I think they are overpriced. Most importantly, that if they're not waterproof, how can they necessarily be called a winter boot? It's a decorative thing to put over your feet to look cool. And the popularity has soared over the past 3 to 4 years. I've even seen some guys wear it. Story number 3 is all about how there's a huge education crisis, and a certain middle school seems to have averted an education crisis. This crisis, as you might already have guessed, surrounds the ever popular Ugg boots. Warm, fuzzy, cool, unflattering, and so 2003. They definitely aren't the biggest problem in the education system, but an American school in good old Pennsylvania, as of Monday, students at Pottstown Middle School will be barred from wearing all fur-lined boots in classes. Last week, Pottstown Middle School principal Gail Cooper sent a note home to all of her students, stating, and I quote, "Following several problems with these items, the Ugg boots, I have banned the outdoor open-top boots from our classrooms." Those problems, you might ask, viewer? Well, I'll get right to that. Cell phone. Banning contraband cell phones into the actual boot itself has caused such an uproar with Miss Gail Cooper that she said to herself, you know what? I bet if I just take away the boots, there's going to be no possibility, that these kids can sneak a little tiny cell phone into class. I don't think Miss Gail Cooper ever heard of bras, elastic bands, or possibly knapsacks. And pockets. Why wouldn't she think of pockets? And that's why, Miss Gail Cooper, you are officially the first Goomba of the month of February. You won absolutely nothing. So Miss Gail Cooper wants her students to basically take that $200 to $300 pair of shoes, put it on the shelf, and spend more money. Now, all of these girls are going to want to be just as stylish as they were before. You think some dollar store sandals are going to make these girls happy? Oh no, sirree, Bob. They're going to want the most state-of-the-art, hippest, coolest, brand new, whatever's trending pair of shoes out there. But these Uggs basically are going to be sitting on the shelf. So you got a $300 investment collecting dust. You're a genius, Miss Cooper. You're a genius. In general, I really think they could have done a lot better idea than banning the boots. Maybe make a more severe penalty for people that use cell phones in class. I guess that never crossed their mind. Like, I remember when I was young, we weren't allowed to actually have Bart Simpson say, "Eat my shorts." Those shirts were absolutely banned because it was kind of filthy and promoting derogatory type of remarks. But this is a pair of boots. Completely different. So I really think teachers should try to keep their nose more towards the textbooks and less towards how to parent the students. I'm going to call it a day. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in. As always, you've been doing it with the best. Keep on rocking in the free world while it's still free.